himself superbly, and he's given himself and his team the opportunity to go through to the final of the United Cup, and fully deserving too. They sweep Team Poland 3-0.
Incredibly! Italy are into the final. Unbelievable. Let the party commence.
Well, the sun is shining around Sydney, and what a super day we have in store. Players have arrived at Ken Rosewall Arena, and it's finals time in the inaugural United Cup. Everyone ready to see who will lift the trophy in this first United Cup 2023. So a super day we have ahead. I'm Stephanie Brantz. Great to have you with us on this 10th day of competition. Delighted also to be joined by Jim Curry and Sam Smith. It's been so wonderful to have you both back down under for another summer of tennis. We've been treated to some terrific matches in the last days. And would you say that we have two worthy finalists?
Yeah, I mean, look, anyone that's made the finals had quite a journey. Literally, if you've been in Perth and Brisbane, you've had to transfer after the group stage. But I think the Americans have shown that you need a balanced team. They've got 4 singles players inside the world's top 20. You can't win this competition with 1 or 2 star players. You need it all the way through the team. They've brought passion, they've brought a lot of fun, and they've been ruthless throughout the United Cup.
And for Team Italy, they've got some hot shots in the men's side, but don't sleep on the women. They have come through for them in a big way to help them get into this final. Some key matches, some of the best tennis we've seen on offer on the women's side of Team Italy. Of course, when you have Musetti and Berrettini, easy to fall in love with what you're seeing there. But I'm telling you, it is about the balance. And this is why this final, I think, is fair set for a really good day of action here.
Yeah, well, you called a wonderful match last night, Jim, and we had Matteo Berrettini and Stefanos Tsitsipas. It was always going to be a cracking match, and poor old Steffi did everything he could to get Team Greece over the line.
Yeah, he really did. It looked like Berrettini was going to clinch the tie. Italy had won the first 2 matches on Friday, so all they needed was 1. Berrettini coming up with ridiculous shots on the run like this, flummoxing Tsitsipas, taking the first set, but in the second set, no breaks to serve. Into the tiebreaker they would go. Berrettini would flinch a little bit there. His forehand would falter. Third set, a bit more of the same. Tsitsipas taking advantage of 1 break of serve. How about that shot as he tries to close this thing out? And on match point, Tsitsipas does take Berrettini out. It was a short-lived good feel for Team Greece. They had a lot of fan support. Tsitsipas used them, but the depth of Team Italy would prove too strong in the end, and they would book their spot against Team USA.
Yeah, they sure did. 2 hours and 35 minutes to find out the last finalists. And as we said, Tsitsipas might have won that one, but it was Team Italy that progressed. And interesting enough, they were the lucky runner-up, or the best of the runners-up. So they've had a wonderful performance here. Let's have a look at what those semi-finals looked like. United States 5-love over Poland. They've been really dominant. And Italy 4-1 over Greece, which gives us our final today. Let's have a look at the matches in store for you. Starting with Jess Pegula of the USA. She'll take on Martina Trevisan, who's been quite a handful for everyone thus far from Italy. Frances Tiafoe will be up next against Lorenzo Musetti. And then in the evening session, we will find out who will be lifting this trophy for the first time. Fritz Berrettini, Keys Bronzetti, and possibility of a mixed doubles, Pegula Fritz and Trevisan Berrettini. So plenty to enjoy as we saw 5-love USA over Poland. They have been fantastic. Let's look back at their road to the final of the United Cup.
With 4 inside the top 20, the expectations were big for Team USA. From the start, they delivered.
Oh, but what about the hands?
Fritz, Keys, and Tiafoe all on song against the Czech Republic. Next up, Team Germany. The result, total dominance.
Wow, she's just getting a pummeling here.
Madison, magical in the 5-0 whitewash. In a blockbuster semifinal, Team Poland sent out the world #1. The toughest assignment so far. But Jess passed the test with flying colors.
Perfect Pegula. What a start for Team USA.
Another Team USA sweep was in the books.
Through to the final of the first ever United Cup, and fully deserving too.
And the title of United Cup champions is just one win away.
And that trophy is what they're all playing for. First up, it will be Jessica Pegula of the United States up against Martina Trevisan of Team Italy. Sam, you'll be calling this one. What are you expecting to unfold here? Because, quite frankly, when we spoke to Jess Pegula yesterday, she's super confident.
No, she is. She's putting herself as a Grand Slam contender now with the performances throughout this United Cup. If anyone can hear me. And the demolition, and it was a demolition, you don't use that word lightly, of the world #1 just a couple of days ago. We have to keep talking about this Pegula forehand simply because it just produces so many winners effortlessly. It's a trajectory that I don't feel that many of the top women or any of the players really understand. It's like a slingshot. She can do whatever she wants with it, and it's kind of a throwback. It's not loaded with spin. It's coming flat and true and hard and deep, and no one seems to know how to deal with it. But it's part of a very complete game that was added to last year. She's comfortable at the net now. She can do all the little linking shots and transition. The serve has improved. I think she can still get more out of it, but she is a complete player now with an exceptional forehand.
Indeed, and she's got Martina Trevisan. That's a player who has provided such entertainment. I don't know whether for you it was unexpected, but what I love about her, it's been with this huge smile on her face for the whole time.
Yeah, she's not Italian enough, is she? She really isn't. I mean, you'd have a smile on your face if you were born in Florence, one of the world's most beautiful cities. But she has brought the passion, and what he wanted to see was players in this United Cup elevating their level and responding to the environment. And she did that with the biggest win of her career. It was just fantastic. And potentially the match of the United Cup.
It actually could have been a final. Well, she is in the final now. So she's got Jess Pegula. And if you're speaking of fun and enjoying things, you can't go past Francis Tiafoe, Jim. No. He's having a ball.
He's an entertainer. Francis has so much personality. He is interacting with everyone. Look at the ball kid's reaction. This is in match. He's not afraid to give high fives. And, if he gets stiffed, he's not afraid to laugh about it. Getting autographs from Madison Keys after her match. He got right up in the kitchen of Taylor Fritz, but he can back it up with the tennis. That was a break-point shot. He wanted everyone to know it was epic, because it was. Big Fro, as he's known, has played some big tennis and provided big fun for all of us so far. Can he get off on the good foot against Musetti, a player who's beaten him 2 of their 3 matches? We'll see.
And something we keep hearing from all of you in commentary when you're watching Musetti is the awe at his one-handed backhand.
Yeah, it's one of the great shots in men's tennis. We first saw it a couple of seasons ago when he won the first 2 sets at Roland Garros against Novak Djokovic. Wasn't able to finish that one, but wow, were we awed by that shot. It is so pretty. It is so powerful. He's got great movement. He's gotten a lot stronger over the last couple of years as well, and he can get the crowd behind him because it's like he's got a paintbrush out there with this backhand. It is gorgeous, it flows, and it is lethal when it's on song. He's going to need that one today.
Yeah, can't wait for those 2 matches. And the women aren't far away, so Sam, we're going to let you run off to commentary. I'm sure you're going to enjoy that one because we cannot wait. There have been so many highlights. I'm sure there's going to be more made today, and it was difficult to just pick 5, but here are our top shots from the tournament thus far.
Oh, that is absolutely out of this world.
That was outrageous. One of the best points that Siegemann's played all match. Nothing you can do about that.
You think he can move?
He had some serious wheels, Alex Simonot. Pushed to every corner of the court.
He is pumped up. Jesus, he's got some afterburners.
Swiatek, quite incredible. One of the shots of the tournament.
It's like, yeah, that was nothing. That was absolutely amazing.
That's why it's so good to have these stars of the sport playing mixed doubles here at the United Cup.
Stand and deliver. Berrettini hooks the forehand into perfection. Oh. No way. No way! No way! Kidding me? Oh my goodness.
It's going to be a long time before you see something like that again.
Day 10 of the United Cup means we are down to the last two, and it's Team Italy and Team USA in action soon. Let's have a look at how the semi-finals unfolded. Roger Aldridge takes us through the action.
After a dominant first leg of its semi-final, Team USA needed just one more win to clinch a final berth. Hubert Hurkacz tasked to spoil, or at least delay, the party. Just one spot separates Hurkacz and Taylor Fritz in the rankings. The first set, everything you'd expect from a top 10 tussle. Big serves, touch and trick shots.
Oh, so close. And this match has come alive.
First set forced to a tiebreak where Fritz finally gained the advantage.
That is quality.
The second set followed a similar path. Big serving and quality ground strokes from both men made for an enthralling contest.
Beautiful use of the court by both players.
Yet again, serves could not be broken. A second tie-break, the same result. Team USA, 3-0 up and a final berth booked. Like Team USA, Italy was just one win away from a spot in the final. Matteo Berrettini did everything to bring it to them.
Oh goodness. Stand and deliver. Berrettini.
A set down, the match appeared to be slipping away from Stefanos Tsitsipas. He fought back and drew on the support of the passionate Greek fan base en route to the second set. Suddenly, it was Tsitsipas who had the edge in general play and soon on the scoreboard as well.
There you go. It is Tsitsipas that breaks through.
The Greek hero keeping his country in the contest, but only briefly. Lucia Bronzetti far too good for Valentini Grammatikapoulou.
Italy are into the final.
Well, sheer delight from Team Italy, and that young lady has provided many highlights for fans at Ken Rosewell Arena. Martina Trevisan, Team Italy, she'll be taking on Jess Pegula of the USA in the opening match, that one not too far away. It'll be followed by Francis Tiafoe and Lorenzo Musetti, and of course more singles in the evening, followed by mixed doubles if required, and then someone will be lifting the first trophy.
Italy was a team brimming with talent. The Brazilians challenged early, but in the end, sheer class shone through.
Oh my goodness.
Awesome. Power from the Italian.
Next up, Norway. And everyone was tuned in and on song in a whitewash.
That's all-out attack, and once again it's Berrettini with brilliance.
It looked to be the end after a loss to Poland in the Brisbane City final.
Team Poland, they've won it all here.
But for the best runners-up, a lifeline emerged, and the Azzurri seized the opportunity. Facing Team Greece in the semi-finals, Lorenzo Musetti was locked in.
Some really intense points, and Musetti showing his class.
Martina Trevisan was inspired as she upset the world number 6.
Yes, she's made it. Unbelievable.
And when Lucia Bronzetti raced through her singles, Team Italy's dream of a finals berth was realised.
Italy are into the final.
There it is, the beautiful trophy that they're playing for, and we're joined by the even more beautiful Laura Robson, who's come to chat to Jim and I as we preview the show. There's a good vibe in here, isn't there, Laura? I mean, we can barely hear each other, but that bodes well for some excitement.
Yeah, the DJ's pumping, the crowds are starting to filter in, and I feel like the energy hopefully is going to be as good as the Greek fans were yesterday. And I think this really has the potential to be a deciding mixed rubber. I think the singles could really go either way, so hopefully a really fun day for the crowds.
Indeed, and of course you two were here relatively late last night because you were watching that Berrettini match. He's in action again today. Jim Courier, it's not just his big shots though, is it? He can really finesse and he plays the soft shots really well.
He's got so much horsepower on the forehand. That's a big weapon along with his serve. This is the biggest forehand in men's tennis on average. But he also has really soft hands when he gets up to the net, can use the drop shot. And against Taylor Fritz, if you can play offense and then get to the net and use the drop shot, that is definitely a good play. Just like this, with good hands, Tsitsipas is such a terrific mover, couldn't get there. So Berrettini really has a lot of options at his disposal. The big question for me, will his forehand hold up under pressure? He had some troubles yesterday with it.
Okay, well, let's switch to the backhand and Taylor Fritz.
Yes.
What will he need to deploy to get over the Italian?
How do you avoid the forehand of Berrettini? You go big into his backhand with your backhand. Taylor Fritz has a terrific forehand, but his backhand technique, flawless. He comes from great stock, both of his parents, tennis professionals, good technique, very clean shot, and he can thump it. He'll need to do that to neutralize Berrettini. You don't want to let Berrettini get set up, hidden forehand, so you got to hit the corners. And Taylor has the absolute pinpoint accuracy to do that time and time again. So for him, that's one of the key shots we'll be looking for. Is he using this shot a lot against Matteo and keeping the big Italian at bay?
Well, speaking of big shots, Laura, we're going to see Madison Keys in action later. She's had some really interesting dialogue with her coach in the team area, but also she's got one of those big serves, big forehands.
Absolutely, she's one of the biggest ball strikers, if not the biggest ball striker in the women's game. And I've just loved how she's using this forehand this week. We know she's got the huge serve and she's added a bit more kick to it. She's looking for the option to set up the point with the forehand, in particular on this third shot, opening up the court. And to be honest, yesterday she was hitting her forehand faster on average than the ATP top 50. So she's ripping it with topspin as well as that flat speed, and she just can really hit any angle, and she took the time away from the net. I think we're going to see her do a lot of that today.
Well, we have Team Italy coming, preparing, because we are standing in their team area and invading them, and it'll be Lucia Bronzetti that comes up against Madison Keys. The two have never met. What does Bronzetti need to do, because that's a tough opponent?
Look, I think she's got to be as consistent as possible, try and lengthen out the rallies when she can. She doesn't have the same firepower as Keys, but you know that going into a matchup. And so what else can you do to make things difficult for your opponent? Try and drop in a few slices, a few drop shots, keep Madison Keys on her toes, maybe get a few deep in the middle of the rally at her feet, and just try and make life as difficult as possible, take the time away. But look, she's going to have the support of this team, and you can't underestimate that.
So much excitement there from Team Italy. They are through to the final. Laura, we aren't too far away from play, so we do have to let you go, but thank you so much for your thoughts.
We keep losing all of our experts, and you're stuck with me. This is no good.
And Jim, you are going nowhere. But Laura, thank you so much. We're going to look ahead with some final thoughts in just a moment, because we aren't too far from Jess Pegula and Martina Trevisan on centre court.
United Cup finalists, congratulations.
It don't even feel like it. I'm so tired, dude.
4 diary rooms, 4 wins. Correlation or coincidence?
You tell me.
I'd like to think it's a correlation, Francis.
Okay. I like to think so too.
Another clean sweep. What's been the secret for Team USA?
Escape room.
Yeah, escape rooms. Yeah. What's holding us together?
Big Mediterranean fan bases here in Sydney. How do we get the Americans in the house?
Show up tomorrow.
You guys travel well. Show up.
If you leave now, you might make it for a match. We don't know what time we play though, so I don't know what time. I'm not sure what time we play, so that might be beneficial.
You guys go prepare for the final. Well done, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
I mean, the way Jets feel right now, we may not.
Yeah, having so much fun. Team USA and Team Italy battling it out in the final, and let's get their final thoughts right now.
Wonderful performance by Team USA over Team Poland. And they have been magnificent over the last couple of days to put their side through to the final.
I think it's a huge advantage this time having the girls in our team because it just makes the whole team so much stronger.
Well played.
I also think we've had a lot of fun. We've done a lot of team bonding, and I think the camaraderie's been pretty good.
So happy that we're in the finals and so proud of my team.
Yeah, I'm super excited going into the finals, and I think we've been the favorites all week.
Italy are into the final. There were so many nerves at play tonight. This was so big for Lucia Bronzetti, but she wins.
We are in final. We are a great team. We are great friends, and I'm so excited, so happy right now, and I don't have words.
Well, both teams in the house. Team Italy making their way towards the court as they prepare to meet Team USA. Team USA so dominant. 5-love winners over Poland, Italy 4-1 over Greece, and they meet here, Ken Rosewall Arena, in the final of the United Cup.
No way. No way has he made that.
Oh, this is good ball striking. Here we go.
You won't see better tennis than this all summer.
It's all Pagula and Team USA.
Oh, yes!
Inspirational from Berrettini.
She is having a ball of a time out here.
Doesn't get any better than that.
Incredible!
So, Jim Courier, I've held you captive here as we preview what's coming up. So let me have your final thoughts. How do you see this day playing out?
I think it's going to be very close. Listen, hearts are going to be pumping. Anthems are going to be playing here momentarily. It's a little bit of uncharted waters, the first United Cup. Most of these players comfortable playing team competitions with their same gender. This is a little bit different, and the Americans in particular have talked about how important it's been for their female teammates to pick them up when they've needed them. So listen, I don't know exactly what we're going to see, but I know we're going to see great tennis. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I cannot wait to watch how this first ever United Cup finishes. It's been wonderful the whole way.
It sure has, and Jim, I can't wait to hear your calls today. I'm going to let you go to commentary as we welcome Team Italy and Team USA out onto Ken Rosewall Arena. After that, your commentators will be Sam Smith and Laura Robson.
Welcome to our first team representing Italy, led out by Captain Vincenzo Santopadre. It's Marco Borolotti, Camilla Rosatello, Andrea Babasori, Lucia Bronzetti, Lorenzo Musetti, Martina Trevisan, and Matteo Berrettini. And that's your Team Italy. And their opponents for today's session, representing the United States of America, led out by Captain David Wick, Hunter Reed, Desiree Kravchuk, Dennis Poudlard, Alicia Park, Frances Tiafoe, Madison Key, Taylor Fritz, and Jessica Pegula. And that's your team, United States of America. If you are able, please be upstanding now for the national anthems of Italy and the United States of America.
A stirring opening to the first session today between the United States and Italy. Two wonderful anthems, the Star Spangled Banner and the Fratelli d'Italia. I think two of the best out there in terms of passion and emotion, and let's hope we get an awful lot of that on court today, and fun as well. That's been a really important part of this new United Cup. I'm Sam Smith, and talking of fun, I'm delighted to be alongside Laura Robson. Laura, how are you?
I'm just loving my intros today. That is
that a good one?
Hopefully I can live up to the
fun. You
always
live up to fun. Always lived up to fun. You and Frances, you're the fun part of this United Cup.
I'll take it. Yeah, I think this is definitely a fun matchup, with Trevisan playing with so much confidence after that win against Sakkari the other day. I think, for me, she doesn't really have the game to beat Pegula, but she can definitely make life very, very difficult, try and lengthen out the rallies. having a good look at that trophy there, and you know, she can slice and dice a bit more and get Pegula on the move. She's got the lefty swinger and the lefty forehand to follow it up. So a tricky matchup in a lot of ways, but you have to say Pegula has been outstanding this week.
Almost. Maybe peaking too soon. Interestingly, herself and Madison Keys have pulled out of Adelaide. I think that's understandable. They'd have played 5 matches over the course of, what, 11 days, as well as they haven't travelled, but they'll have to travel tomorrow. So I think they both played extremely well, actually. They are both certainly ready to make an assault for their first ever major title. Who knows where they will be come the end of January. They might be lifting another trophy.
Okay, ladies, condition will be the same. Any questions? No? Would you like to call, Jessica? Hats? So she's choosing hats. Okay, go ahead, Jessica. That's tails. Martina, your call. Receive. Yeah, can we have a picture, please?
Both players very used to all the formalities and getting very comfortable out here on this Ken Rosewell Arena. The great man will be in the house certainly at some point today, and definitely this evening, where he will present the very first United Cup, fittingly on the arena named after one of the greatest players that the world has ever seen. But let's introduce you, if you are new to this competition, to Martina Trevisan. She is pushing 30. But playing the best tennis of her life, and she vaulted up the rankings into the world's top 30 over the last 12 months to start to fulfill the talent that we certainly saw when she was a junior, and certainly when she qualified a couple of years ago at the French Open and made it through all the way through to the quarterfinals. Subsequently, she has done one better, and she certainly is going to give many of the players in Melbourne something to think about. I think, Laura, they'll be very relieved that she's going to be seeded.
Yeah, she's a matchup that you know you're going to have to work for, and she doesn't give you a lot of free points. She can get hit off the court at times, and I think you see that in the results from earlier in the week in the group stage against Haddad Maia, someone who's got a huge game that can really take it to you. So on a fast court, she's done really well, actually, to just take a couple of steps back at times to try and just lengthen out points as much as possible. But yeah, amazing story. Trevisan came back from a really difficult eating disorder, turned things around, making semis at the French, and I feel like she's just thriving in the team environment, as is this lady, Jess Pegula.
Yes, ever a court and a ball was made for someone. It's been a perfect fit, hasn't it, for the 28-year-old who originally from Buffalo, New York, lives these days in the sunny climes of Florida, and she resides and practices in Boca Raton. So the opening match of 5, which will be played over the course of one day rather than the 2 that have we've got very used to at this United Cup. And Laura, always interesting and sometimes a little quirky at the start when 2 players have never met before and they're just trying to get an understanding of what they bring. And I'm fascinated to see how Trevisan just copes with this very unusual strike that Pegula produces.
Yeah, a lot of players have been saying that Pegula's shots almost look like they're going out and then they drop in at the last second because she adds so little spin on the ball and it comes so low over the net. So for sure it's going to take a couple of games to get used to, but in the same turn Pegula is going to have to get used to the lefty spin that Trevisan's going to throw up. She likes to sort of moonball herself back into the rally when she's pushed really wide on that forehand side. And you know, I think every time you play someone for the first time, it's always the first couple of games that mean the most, and where you try and just dig deep and get a good start to kick things off.
This is your first time watching the United Cup. The team zones are have been such a feature of the tennis and what's been produced here. All the players together.
1 minute.
Both Italy and the United States have been very well captained. Jessica Pegula has been fortunate to have the experience of her personal coach, David Witt, in the American camp, and Matteo Berrettini's personal coach, Vincenzo Santapare. They're both very good former players. He has guided her through to some of the best tennis of her career. An awful lot will unfold over the course of this afternoon and this evening. United States, I think we feel, go in as favourites, but never underestimate the Italians and what they can produce playing for their country.
I really feel that this has the potential to go the distance.
Okay.
I just woke up this morning thinking Musetti's got a fantastic chance against Frances Tiafoe, and Berrettini played so well the last couple of days. So on the women's side, I feel the Americans are definitely the favourites, but on the guys, you just never know.
I woke up this morning and opened my curtains and was very pleased to see the sunshine out
Me
there.
too.
That was a real bonus and fitting for this United Cup. Looks like a very healthy crowd here at the Ken Rosewell Arena. Some sessions have been almost sold out, and it's been very well supported for certain matches, I have to say, over the course of the 11 days. Can't believe they've gone so quickly. But you're having a look at a team zone where everyone will sit, they'll get input from them, they'll get handed towels and drinks, and even if you haven't hit a ball in anger in this competition, you have a role to play. Americans almost have become closer as a unit. They've been fully occupied in their time off. They had a day off on Thursday. They didn't have to travel with, if you ever heard an escape room, they've been very busy doing that. And it sounds like the girls have absolutely smashed it on every occasion.
They're definitely leading in the escape room.
You don't get that for getting out the escape room. You get that for winning the very first United Cup. Designed by Thomas Light, a very famous trophy maker, and appropriate for, given the level of this competition. Multi-million-dollar event to kick off the 2023 season.
Jessica Pegula is representing Team USA to serve. Ready, play. Baby.
Well, an ace and a backhand line winner. That's one way to kick things off.
And Trevisan is going to do everything to pull the Italian fans, and there's quite a few flags in here this afternoon. And he's going to try and pull them into this match. The way we've been talking about Jessica Pegula, you think she had the perfect record here at the United Cup, but she opened up against the Czech #1, Petra Kvitova, with a loss, 7-6, 6-4, had all those set points in the opener, couldn't convert. But from that moment, she found a new level. She was very comfortable against Germany's Laura Siegmund. She absolutely, I'm afraid, sorry Harriet, she gave Harriet Dart of Great Britain a very hard time, winning extremely easily. And then Harriet, I think, would have felt a lot better by the way she just dismantled the world #1, Iga Swiatek, who said afterwards she felt helpless physically and mentally. That was an extraordinary performance.
an ideal start.
So we're off and running in the final of the United Cup, the inaugural United Cup, and look who has arrived. It is the great man himself, Ken Rosewall, arriving at the Ken Rosewall Arena. What a treat to have this legend in the house to watch the final, and he'll certainly be enjoying watching the inaugural winners get crowned at the end of today.
Doesn't have a huge serve either, so as long as the recovery is good, because you know this return's coming big at your feet. And she's such a fantastic competitor. I used to play doubles with Martina, under 14s and under 18s.
Did you?
I did.
You pulled that out the bag. I had a look at her junior record. She was, you know, it wasn't a standout, but she was at all the tournaments and certainly strong.
It was actually her brother who was higher ranked in the juniors, Matteo, and I don't think he played a long time on the senior tour, but
no, he didn't. He wasn't actually won the boys doubles at Wimbledon. He was the world's best junior. She was top 60. He got to around about the 200s on the main tour. Playing freely. And Laura, it was interesting. I looked when he sort of stopped playing, and actually it was about the same time that Martina had some of her eating disorders, because it seemed like within the family there was their parents separated. Their father was very ill. I think a lot was going on when she was sort of 17, 18, and for about 5 years we kind of lost her to tennis. She didn't play very much.
yeah, what a comeback she's made.
I think this is one of the really good news stories, because it sounded like, you know, she really hit rock bottom, clearly has a lot of talent and ability, and you know what, maybe she has a different perspective on tennis and life now. She's just going to enjoy it.
I don't know who dubbed her the silent assassin after the last match, but that was exactly right against Sakkari. She was almost laughing at every point at how good she was hustling down balls and making Sakkari play one extra shot every time.
She's built through this event. She was on the end of quite a tough defeat to Beatrice Haddad-Maia when Italy beat Brazil, but she beat the Norwegian #1. And pushed Iga Swiatek in the second set. Was actually beaten in the end 6-2, 6-4, and then the epic against Maria Sakkari a few nights ago. Oof, that's got some sauce on it.
It's such a nice strike, isn't it? And as soon as he dropped that one short to Pegula on the backhand side, she's right on top of it. She can hit this ball just about anywhere in the court, but I love that she's going for the cross court, almost an angle there.
She's just had a chat. Pegula just walked up to Nishang. Just had a little query. So back to Juice. This court and the balls early on are very, very fast, but she seems to have all the time in the world. How does she do that?
If it was that easy, we'd all do it.
Perfect start for the Americans and an early break. But I know someone who might have the answer. Babsy, how does she do it?
Well, I think it's a combination of obviously the way she plays tennis. She anticipates extremely well, she moves extremely well, and she has this calmness about her where you never feel like she's rushed out there, and it has a lot to do with self-confidence as well, and she got off to a good start.
Pegula last year won all her contests against left-handers. She was 3-0, beat Bernarda Pera of the United States at the Australian Open, Jill Teichmann in Madrid, and Petra Kvitova at the US Open. And just, although she lost to Petra here in her opening match, just looking at her record on tour against lefties, it's not overwhelming, but she has won 14 of 24 encounters against the southpaws. A lot of players would be happy with that record.
Well, as difficult as it is in the moment, I think that's the one that Trevisan has to go back cross court one more time.
Pegula's had a few distractions from back home. Her father is the owner of the Buffalo Bills, and one of their top players, the defensive back, Damar Hamlin, had a heart attack during the Monday night game. But I'm very pleased to say it's been all over the papers. I don't know a lot about NFL, but he is awake and conscious and communicating. Which is very good news for the Pegula family, as is this scoreline for the American number one. Team USA ahead 3-0 in this opening set. Well, this evening or maybe late tonight and tomorrow, all the players will be heading away from these shores, sadly, but Bondi will always be there, and I think they'll be back next year for their swimming and surfing.
Amazingly, this morning from the official hotel, I think he was from the Greek team, someone was being dropped off at Bondi and he was going to run back to CBD, which is...
How far is that?
I think about 4K, 5K? Okay. No, it's in miles, isn't it? All I know is it's a long
way, okay. Lovely run, though. Great spot.
Plenty of fun for the fans today as they converge on Ken Rosewell Arena. The man himself is in the house. After the round-robin stage across the country in Perth, Brisbane and Sydney, it is down to the Harbour City for the finals. Plenty of photo opportunities out in the garden. The sun is out. It's a beautiful summer day here in Sydney, but the action is all happening inside Ken Rosewell Arena, the final between Team USA and Team Italy. Jess Pegula off to a flyer. She leads 3-love in the first set.
I was just having a look earlier at the Italian national anthem, the Fratelli d'Italia. There's a great line in it. It says, "Let's unite under one flag, one dream, to melt together. Already the time has come." Well, it is now, and and they're all going to have to pull here for Martina Trevisan. Oh, well done. Did you teach her all she knows, Laura, when you played doubles in the under-14s?
No, she played so similar to this already. She used every part of the court, loves to drop into that backhand slice and play it short when possible to draw her opponents in.
So she's just a grown-up version of what she produced all those years ago. I can't imagine you two lefties as kids.
I think I played on the juice side.
Oh, did you? That would have been
she wanted the
interesting.
forehand. Well, just thought the serve was long.
What is wonderful about how they coach and teach tennis in Italy, they don't just start with the ground strokes. You learn how to, the minute you work on the court, you learn how to drop shot, you learn how to slice. That's their tennis culture. Did you pick up any Italian while you were in your junior doubles days with Martina?
If only.
Because it would be very helpful right
language.
now.
Still trying to find that balance, Trevisan, of when to go a bit deeper in the court.
It's effortless, isn't it? Or seemingly so from Jessica Pegula. Just doesn't waste any energy out there.
Love to juice very quickly. And she saw that line wide open, but I really feel that you've got to force yourself to go back one more time cross and use the short cross when possible to then open it up, because Pegula is so good at forcing you to overplay.
Advantage, Team Italy.
Captains can coach within the game. They can even come out onto the court if they want to between the points. That hasn't happened yet. Still one more day. Great hold. Babsy, you're sitting next to everyone's favorite American.
Francis, today's the day where America, Team United States, could actually capture the United Cup. How's the team vibe, and is the heart rate a little bit up, maybe?
Nah, for sure. I mean, obviously everyone's really excited, but it's just another day. Everyone knows what they're capable of. Everyone plays super high level and battle tested. So played a bunch of matches, especially on this court. So, you know, I mean, we're very familiar with this court now. So, and I hope it just starts off well with a 1-0.
You're up next against Lorenzo Musetti. You know him well. I think there has to be a little bit of a revenge. Last time you lost against him. What are you going to do to beat him today?
For sure. I mean, he's a hell of a player. I mean, he's young. He's playing really well. So it's going to be tough. But, yeah, I'm going to try to just, be super aggressive, play my game, and, not let him have time to really swing out and do what he likes to do. So, it's going to be a good one.
Can't wait for that. Thanks so much, Francis.
Thank you.
He was very well behaved. I was expecting him to do something a little naughty.
He's in the zone. He's in match mode.
He's not messing around today, is he? Last time the Americans lifted silverware was 6 years ago at the Billie Jean King Cup. It's a final, it's different. Pegula feeling it here. It's a break back, and Italy have found a foothold in this opening set. We're on serve. The Americans, though, leading 3-2 in the first.
Questo ti stai liberando poi adesso, Guarda come vai libera e come va passa la mano, inizia a prendere gli angoli.
I get the sense she responds very well in this kind of situation. Because he's not short of words, is he, Vincenzo?
Well, no, and she was walking over between points, trying to get a bit more information, and it's done wonders there. She just cut down on the errors, was using a bit more of a high percentage forehand, and just trying to frustrate Pegula into doing what Trevisan was doing in the first couple of games, just overhitting.
Piano piano sta succedendo la stessa cosa della partita con la Sionte, che piano più giochi e più
quite a pop, didn't she? At that second serve of Pegula. Let's see if that continues.
Con questa voce, con questa.
Yeah, if you speak Italian, please send us a translation, because this looks like a good chat.
Send it to Laura, she'll pick it up.
La scelta numero 1 poi però se Martina si sente in quel momento.
So the Italians in the form of the #1 player, Martina Trevisan, just pegging back the United States after the Americans made a very fast start, couple of breaks in the opening 5 games, and we're back on serve now.
Yeah, I love that mix-up. Throwing in the short, slow slice.
It's a very different ball, isn't it, to the one Pegula faced against Iga Swiatek a couple of days ago, but the same for Trevisan as well. The flat shots of the American as opposed to a heavy spin of Maria Sakkari. I think we wondered how she'd be after the biggest win of her career. I think now she's into this, we've got her answer. Start of the year, Trevisan outside the world's top 100 back in January. Last January, that is. But it all sort of got off on the right note at the Australian Open. Qualified, that's where she was 12 months ago, and made it to the second round.
Shot.
She spent a lot of time sitting down, didn't she, against Sakkari? She'd be very good. She'd be a very good limbo dancer.
Yeah, impressive flexibility in the knees.
Yeah, when I watch this, my knees start hurting right away.
Cracking just thinking about it.
I just could probably get down there, but not sure if
Never up.
But the way she springs up, Babsy.
I know. I would need a crane to get me up.
Well, just give her another 20 years or so, Babsy. She'll know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Won't be terribly good for those knees, actually, in all those positions. But anyway.
I just think it's amazing what a bit of confidence can do, and having the support of your teammates just changes her whole game. I remember watching Trevisan end of last year. She actually ended the year with a love and love loss in Glasgow at the Billie Jean King Cup. Just got taken apart by Leylah Fernandez, and then even earlier this week losing 2-love. There's just none of that in her head right now.
She does have quite a lot of ups and downs, Trevisan, if you look at last season. Won her first title in Rabat on the clay, that's in Morocco. And then the draw opened up for her at Roland Garros, made it all the way through to the semi-finals. That's something of a slam that Pegula hasn't done to date. I think it's only a matter of time. Lost to Goff in the end. But she's either right at the top of her game or quite a long way off it. That's what her results suggesting all those points are clumped in certain little
in the
portions.
space of a few weeks.
Yes, did make the quarterfinals in Hungary, 4th round in that Guadalajara 1000 event, but it's going to be an interesting season for her. And Pegula eyeing up a break point here.
Oh, nice, she's made it.
Deuce.
Trevisan won't want to know that when Jessica Pegula breaks in one of the opening 4 games of a set, she has a very strong, statistically, a very strong chance of winning it. Almost 80% on the historical data that we've got from her over the last 12 months on hard courts. Not quite, really having to push it here. Pegula gets another break.
Team USA leads 4 games to 2.
Well, we're thinking the net clearance might play a part today, mostly on Pegula's side, but it's actually Trevisan who's trying to dominate a bit more with the forehand, played a little flatter, take the time away from the American. And that's, in general, where the errors are coming from as well. Forced out of her comfort zone. And she's actually missed 6 forehands now where she's tried to flatten it out down the line to finish the point off. And if you're just not used to playing that shot over and over again, so often it's easy to do too much.
Yeah, I think that Trevisan knows that she has to come up with the variety against Pegula, and that's why she's thinking a little bit too much sometimes. That's why the unforced errors. She can't just keep on hitting with her flat from the baseline.
And Babsy, there's a lot of emotions right now from the Italian. Do you feel like maybe too much, because she's really looking over at the team after every single point? There's a reaction.
Yeah, there's a lot of eye contact, that's for sure. She also talks to herself a lot. There's a lot of emotions in her face. She's not 100% comfortable, I think, with the way things are going at the moment. I haven't seen that big smile very often yet, which we were talking about for the last 10 days. She needs to settle down, that's for sure.
That's perfect. I feel like we're talking about Trevisan a lot, but the reality is Pegula's so steady that you're going to have to hit point after point like that to come through this one.
Yeah, and because of her steadiness, I think you make erratic decisions sometimes. She makes you look bad a lot of times, Pegula.
It's the first time we've really seen Pegula look uncomfortable on a court that the Americans have owned over the last week and a half. And can you believe it? Chance to get the break back here. She's missed it. Trevisan riding her luck, but she stays in touch in this opening set.
New ball, please. Team USA leads 4-3.
Lei ci deve sentire che stiamo sempre là. Lo sente? Non è un problema che perdiamo il game da 40-0, perché se stiamo là non è mai un problema, capito?
Well, away from the cut and thrust of competition, not too many, actually not too far away at all from the Players' Hotel. They want to take a little break. This is one of the perfect spots down at the Botanical Gardens.
I went down there the other day, had a little walk around the Rose Garden.
Ah, the Rose Garden.
Yeah.
Did it live up to the hype? Never ever listen to my advice, but I'm pleased you went there. Martina Trevisan has been a revelation throughout this the latter stages of this United Cup. Competitions of this type always throw up maybe a new name or someone that we haven't really paid enough attention to. She is ranked at 27 in the world, just off her career high after a breakout season, as they like to say in America. It was last year. There's lots of forza going on.
She had a couple of game points in her last service game to try and even things out. Off to a good start here. And the thing about the lefty swinger is you don't want to get predictable. That 46% on the ad plus the 45 on the deuce seems to be working well so far, but Pegula's going to start to cut that angle off as this match goes on. So it's really about mixing in those bodies, throwing in a couple of flat out wide on the deuce side when possible. Reading between the lines, I sense that you feel she might be overplaying that lefty serve into the Pegula backhand. Do you want to see even more of a mix? On the deuce side, yes. On the ad side, I think you go for the lefty swinger all day.
As a lefty, you can say that.
I'd go there all day, every day, until you really see your opponent make a move out in the alleys. because I would always have it where I'd start to overthink and mix things up before it was even an issue, because you think you're overplaying it, but the reality is it's so effective that there's no reason to change it.
The thoughts of a left-hander.
Yeah, actually, Babsy, I think they should ban left-handers, don't you?
Totally.
On the tour. It's so unfair.
They should have their own tournaments, I think.
That's not a ball to be upset about, really. It was a really solid point up until that last forehand.
Dai, ce l'abbiamo la soluzione, forza.
Bogro, thank you.
Well, we thought this might be interesting. These two had never played before.
This is the most frustrated I've seen Pegula all week.
Since her junior days,
Even
Laura.
against Kvitova, she was sort of accepting, look, my opponent's just playing better than me today, but she really feels like she should be all over her opponent.
I think understandably, since she's just beaten the world #1. It's been really uncomfortable for the American after that excellent start. And Team Italy level for the first time in this opening set.
I think the biggest problem for Pegula is the different shapes of spin that Trevisan is coming up, and she likes to be stuck on the baseline, but today she has to move forwards and backwards, and that adjustment, I feel like she's not comfortable with that at all. She never knows what's coming up, and that's why all this frustration, she feels vulnerable.
Been on court exactly 40 minutes, and she is yet to hit a forehand winner. I think that sometimes a zero can tell you an awful lot about a match. Parks, left of your picture, one of the youngsters on the team, Desiree Kravchuk. She's been top water carrier. Pegula just settling things down, and she moves ahead once more in this opening set.
5 games to 4.
Possiamo permetterci di sperare energia alla fine del punto. Alla fine del punto già ti devi riconcentrare, smaltisci il punto andato e ti devi riconcentrare bene per il punto dopo. Da là. Sporcandolo è andato molto meglio, hai visto? Sporcando. E un'altra cosa, vai decisa, più decisa vai meglio. Il rovescio crociato, è vero che lei lo gioca bene, ma delle volte è come se tu vedessi la montagna troppo alta, non è così, non è così quel dritto crociato, non è così fastidioso. Sei tu che delle volte ci vai un po' titubante, allora tu vai più decisa e poi vediamo se è fastidioso, perché qua prima ti ha dato un rovescio che ieri voleva saccare, ti tirava molto più forte e tu sei andata titubante, ok? Allora tu vai più decisa, ok?
The information blizzard continues from Vincenzo Santapadre, but very well received by the 29-year-old from Florence, who is playing the best tennis of her life.
Time.
Tutto chiaro, Marti? La voce.
Well, she might have lost that point, but tactically, she is doing so well on getting onto her forehand after her first serve. That's what hunting the third shot means. She hits a first serve and then she gets on her forehand, and she really should have won that opening point. That's something that she has been excellent at in this first set.
Yeah, in terms of rally balls, Trevisan's hitting 66% forehands and Pegula's down at 33% on her own forehand. So a real effort there from the Italian to get around that shot.
And to try and play this match on her terms against one of the best players in the world. Gosh, that first point was so important, wasn't it?
No, second serve at love 30. That's a bit of a gift. You don't often see a miss like that at love 30 with Pegula returning.
There she is again, hunting that third shot.
I love it that she tries to come to the net. Martina Trevisan picks the right time as well. She's got, yeah, just a great feel when it's the right time. She might not have the best volleys, but she's crafty. And it puts pressure on the opponent.
Well, it was looking so good and then just didn't commit to the drive volley. Played it a bit too high over the shoulder and then was forced back into no man's land behind the service line. And it's a set point now for Pegula.
Normal service resumed, a clean finish in what was in the end a very difficult set for the American. But Jessica Pegula takes the opener, and she wins it by 6 games to 4. Well, an opening set of 5 breaks and a little more comfortable than JP, as her family and friends call her, probably would have liked. And the fact that she just wasn't able to get onto her forehand says an awful lot about Martina Trevisan. But what do these numbers say?
Well, for me, if Trevisan can just drop the unforced error count on that forehand side, she's right in this match. Had chances even in that last game. A couple of net points that didn't go her way, but she's doing all the right things, looking for the forehand, the 5 forehand winners. I think, if anything, that first serve points 1 for Trevisan needs to come up. She's got to be above